Hey everyone, it's Gwen. I'm back with another video for Valentine's Day using mostly Dollar Tree supplies. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so and give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, and share as it does help my channel to grow. Let's get on with these DIYs. First up, I am making a nice little flower arrangement for Valentine's using one of those metal tin buckets from Dollar Tree that says Flowers and Garden. I picked that up sometime last year. They do come in like a greenish color, white, and this pink color. I'm also using that wire ribbon that came from Hobby Lobby, an assortment of moss, as well as some floral foam and a variety of flowers that I had in my stash. Now, Dollar Tree carries many types of pretty flowers, especially out for spring right now. So you can decide how you want to decorate yours, but I'm using a variety of roses and pink roses and mini white roses, as well as some greenery like ferns and other random things. So the first thing I'm doing is getting the floral foam and hot gluing it down to the base of my tin bucket. And just want to make sure you measure out the size that you need to fill the inside of your bucket, just so when you place your wire and your flowers, everything will be on an even surface. The next thing I did was took this wired ribbon, and this is like the chicken wire style that Hobby Lobby carries, and all I did was shape it to be a heart shape. And this was really easy because this wire is super flexible and very easy to work with. It's not stiff by any means. It's very pliable, so you can shape it just as you need it to be, and make adjustments as needed. And then I didn't do any kind of special like securing at the bottom or anything. Once I have the shape formed, all I will be doing is hot gluing the bottom piece to my floral foam with a lot of hot glue, and then all of that will be covered with some floral moss and reindeer moss, and you'll see that here shortly. Now, once I had the chicken wire ribbon glued down to my floral foam, and again, as I mentioned, you'll want to put a generous amount of hot glue just to make sure it's secure. You can even use the sharp edges of the wire ribbon and sort of insert that into the floral foam, as much as will go inside, but definitely add the hot glue. So here I'm just continuing to form my heart shape. And again, since this wire is very thin and flexible, it is very easy for the shape to sort of come undone or sort of be manipulated. So it does take a few times to keep, shaping it to the right size and look of your heart. So that's something that you'll have to continue to play with through the process. So as you can see, I went ahead and added some floral moss to the base of that floral foam just to conceal the foam and also give it a good base for starting my floral arrangement. I started by taking these fern leaves and I started to put them into the foam without really trimming them down. I thought that leaving them this tall was gonna look good, but in hindsight, I decided to trim all my leaves down just for more visual interest, because it really didn't look good that way. You'll see here that, sometimes when you're making floral arrangements, you sort of have to do trial and error and just add your floral pieces and greenery stems and whatnot. And, kind of stand back a little bit, see if that's something that looks good to you or looks pleasing to the eyes. And then you can alter it however you need for it to look better. So I will continue to add the roses here. I use both pink roses, which is more fuller looking, as well as those little smaller stemmed roses in the white color, which I think adds a very nice contrast and again, more interest to this piece. It's good to vary up your florals when you're creating an arrangement like this. It's nice too if you're trying to go for more like one style of flowers and make them all uniform. That works as well. But just for this idea here, I wanted to use a variety of the roses and the different colors, as well as adding greenery, because you can also take this through springtime and keep it around and just continue to decorate with it. I think it comes out really pretty in the end. So here I just continue to take more of the greenery stems I had in my stash, just cutting off pieces that I thought would look nice, and you know, just inserting it into the foam and continuing to arrange it however I saw fit to make this look good. You'll want to cut all of your stems down in varying lengths. That's another tip, because you don't want everything to be one level. It's nice when you have different heights going on with your arrangement. You want some to lay a little bit lower to fill in the spaces below, as well as have others that are sort of climbing or, you know, sticking more higher up or straight up. And again, this is all personal preference. So just continue doing this and fluffing out all your florals and arranging them however you want your arrangement to look. So once I had all of my floral pieces attached, I went ahead and took some of this reindeer moss. This is more of the brighter green color. You can also use other types of moss like Spanish moss or just regular floral moss if you want. But I decided to use this. It's very spring looking in my opinion, and it has a nice contrast to the pink flowers or pink roses. So all I did was hot glue the moss to different parts of the form, which is the wire form. And the reason I did this is to just add, again, more visual interest, and also sort of accentuate the heart shape of that wire. Because if you look at this piece from a distance, sometimes the wire tends to sort of disappear in the distance, like where it's not that noticeable. But if you add something like moss to different parts of the wire, it helps to make it look more obvious, like there's something there. And also it's what's the word I'm trying to find? It's basically yeah, it's just obvious, and you know, you can actually see it. So that was sort of the thought behind that step. So next thing I did was I took these sets of arrows that came from Dollar Tree. It came in a set of 2, and I picked these up last year. I never got around to using them. I chose the white arrow. I thought that would make a nice addition to this arrangement. And what I did was I cut a piece of wire. It's like it's a thick wire, but it's a very flexible wire. And it was gold. The reason I mean, I just picked it up because it's what I could find on hand, you know, in a pinch. But I did use some of that reindeer moss to cover the wire because it didn't necessarily match the aesthetic. It was gold, whereas the wire ribbon is silver. So there it is. Super cute. I love how it came out, and I hope you guys like it too. So moving on to DIY number 2, I am using these like corrugated galvanized hearts. I picked up at Family Dollar. It came in a pack of 3, and I'm only going to use 1 pack. So first thing I did was use my crocodile tool. It's like a scrapbooking tool, and I punched holes or pierced holes all throughout the heart, just following the design of the heart. Initially, I used a smaller size hole punch, but after struggling with trying to, you know, put the ribbon through, I decided to go back in with the bigger sized hole punch selection on that crocodile tool, and then just went around the existing holes and just punched those out to make them bigger. So I use this white or off-white looking jute twine that came from Hobby Lobby. It comes from their wedding section. And I decided to use this to sort of make a stitching going around the heart, just using those holes that I punched out. So this was a little tricky in my opinion. I can't say that I would be the best person to explain this step right here because, to be honest, it was a trial and error to try to get all of the jute string to sort of connect and not have like those gaps in between. So it was just really a matter of weaving it in and out and then going in different directions. So until I was able to have where it looked like the jute twine sort of connected in one piece, although it didn't, but it gave it that illusion. And that was my ultimate goal. So after multiple attempts at doing this, I finally got it to where it had the look that I was going for. So if you have a better way or step or process of achieving that look, you know, go ahead and follow your own steps or leave me a comment down below and let me know what you would recommend for me to do next time if I was trying to achieve that stitched look. So next up, I decided to use these fairy garden accessories from Dollar Tree, and these are super cute. They have different sayings on them, and they're made to look like stone. I initially wasn't sure how I wanted to incorporate that into this design, but I thought it was perfect for filling in the center of the corrugated metal hearts. So first thing I did was took some more of the floral moss or reindeer moss and just added it to the center of each of the corrugated hearts. And that was going to give me sort of like a background to these stones and also make it look garden-ish. And it's perfect for spring as well. So after Valentine's, I can definitely continue to keep this out and decorate with it because it's cute. You know, it has that very garden look to it. I can also use this outdoors if I wanted to. So what I did to attach the moss was just use some hot glue. And then I use hot glue to attach the little fairy garden stone hearts to the middle of the moss. I decided that I was going to make this into a sign. So I used an old sign or reused or repurposed a sign that I had in my stash. And it's basically a wooden blank that came from Target a few years back. And then I ended up using that. It was perfect size to fit these 3 hearts going vertically. And you'll see here in a minute how I did that. So here is the wood sign blank that I had in my stash. And as you can see, I just laid out all the hearts in a vertical fashion. I thought that was really nice. And I decided to make it a sign as I mentioned. And all I did was hot glue each of these to the sign. Gluing it over the jute twine in the back, it worked in my favor because it attaches to the wood a lot better as opposed to me actually hot gluing the metal just directly to the wood. So that was a bonus. So I did space these out evenly, just making sure I had even spacing in between each of the hearts. And this is how it's coming out so far. This is just a great addition to like a wall space that you need to fill to add a little bit of that Valentine charm. Or you can use it as a leaner or shelf sitter as part of like a vignette. So you can definitely stop at this point if you wanted more of a neutral Valentine decor. However, I had this really cute ribbon on hand and I decided to just use a couple strips just to trim off each side of the sign to add a little bit more of that Valentine's touch. And I didn't do anything with the top and bottom part of it. I just kept it as is. I just thought adding it to each side was sufficient and I think it looks great. And then the last thing I did was added a hanger ribbon to this using a different designed ribbon, which is this red and white gingham ribbon. And this is also from Dollar Tree. All I did was made a loop style hanger just crisscrossing the tails over each other and then using a scrap piece of felt and some hot glue. And there you have it. You can use this throughout the year, especially if you love hearts or decorating with hearts just for every day, or you can add it to your garden. I hope you guys like this one. It was super fun to make. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Moving right along to DIY number 3, I am taking these little treat bags that came from Dollar Tree. It came in a pack of 2. They're like burlap bags with a cute little like conversation hearts design all over it. And I just used a flower pot that I already owned. You can reuse anything that you have in your stash, or you can go out and buy one. They're super inexpensive. You can find them at craft stores, you know, Walmart, even thrift stores. You can even use like a regular plain old jar, like a mason jar that you're not using. And all I did was really simply use that burlap bag to encase the flower pot. I just stuck the flower pot inside of it, folded down the sides, cinched it using that little like string that you use to make it tighter. And then you just tuck in the sides just to give it a more cleaner look. And here you can see that I added a greenery potted plant, and that was already something I owned. But again, Dollar Tree carries a lot of like potted plants and potted flowers that you can use. You just have to find one that fits inside your pot and that can actually fit inside this bag. So everything here that I'm using, I already had in my stash. The only thing I bought was the actual supplies like the burlap bag and the lace trim I've had as well. I got that sometime last year, last Valentine's Day, and I just had extras. So I went ahead and used that to trim off the top. Again, just giving it that little extra decorative look, because without it, it looked a little too plain. And just adding that little lace trim just gave it a really cute vibe. And then I took that same jute twine that I used in my previous DIY and just use that to wrap around the bottom part of the pot, because again, it just helps to cinch in the fabric because it is a little bit like bulky and everything. And if you want it to look more, have more of like a cleaner line, you can just use like a piece of string or ribbon and just make a cute little shoestring bow. And you know, you have yourself a really nice, you know, decorative looking flower pot. And then I thought that this greenery potted plant wasn't really doing it for me. So I took more of those mini white roses that I had and just trimmed them down and then inserted them to different parts of the potted plant. Again, just giving it more of that Valentine vibe that it needed and just making it look a little bit more extra. And I think that was exactly what it needed, just to sort of tie everything together. And I really loved the look of this. This was super fast and easy to do, as you can see. Literally took minutes and very minimal supplies. You probably already have a lot of things like this just to make a DIY like this. And it just goes to show you that you can use things such as that burlap bag that's meant to hold treats or gifts and create like a custom looking flower pot. I hope you guys like this idea. Please give me a thumbs up if you do. And let's move on to DIY number 4. So for the next DIY, I will be utilizing the same burlap bag that I did for the previous DIY. And this idea came to me like in the spur of the moment. I already had bought those pillar candles from Dollar Tree in my last few trips, in my last few hauls actually. And when I was looking at these bags, it just came to me, like the idea came to me that, hey, I can use this to design or decorate these cute glass pillar candles. So all I did was cut strips going vertically, just separating each rows of the hearts. And I thought that would be a perfect size for designing these candles. So I used like a regular pair of scissors just to create like straight lines. And then once I had all the pieces cut into like separate strips, like 3 strips for 3 of my candles, I then went in with my pinking shears and cut down the sides or the corners once again, just to give it like more of a decorative edge and to make it look a lot cuter. And with pinking shears as well, it, prevents like fraying. So that was an added bonus, but not like I really have to worry about that because everything's going to be glued down, and it's not like, it's going to be fussed with too much. It's literally just going to be decoration that's sitting on a table. But regardless, I think using the pinking shears definitely adds a little bit more cuteness to each of the strips of fabric, just giving it sort of like that zigzag edge. And then once I had all my strips cut as evenly as I can, making sure not to go too far into where you're cutting off parts of the heart. So you have to be really careful. And all I did, as opposed to using like hot glue, I decided to use tacky glue. I used Aleene's tacky glue to attach these strips of fabric onto the pillar candles. You can use any type of glue that works for you. I tried using some spray adhesive, which that will work as well. But the one that I had previously purchased from Dollar Tree, it's like the Elmer's purple disappearing glue. For some reason, it wasn't spraying. So I don't know if it's clogged or what, but I decided to go to Plan B and just use good old Aleene's tacky glue, and it worked just fine. You probably could also use some Mod Podge. That would work as well. So just make sure that when you're gluing all of your strips down, that you try to get them as evenly with each one as possible. So you want to make sure that, they're level pretty much, because if you're going to display this like side by side, as far as, it looking good, you want to make sure that they're as even as possible with each other. But it's easy to do. Now, once all my strips were glued down, I decided to embellish this just a little bit more. I took this jute, like a spool of jute twine or yarn, and I picked this up on clearance, like from Marshall's or one of those places, like Martha Stewart brand. But you can use like natural colored jute twine or colorful jute twine or baker's twine if you want more color. I just decided to go with this. You really can't see it here, but it is like a cream colored yarn with little specks or flecks of red. So I thought that was very fitting considering, you know, the colors of the burlap has both colors, red and natural, you know, cream color. So I went ahead and just wrapped like closer to the top rim of each of the candles, and just made multiple twists or wraps around it, and just making sure to add hot glue when you first start so that it holds it in place, and then continue to wrap until you're content with how it looks, and then add another dot of hot glue just to secure that final piece down, and then just repeat the steps for the second and third candles. You can also go as far as adding a little ribbon bow, you know, creating like a little shoestring ribbon, or adding like a contrasting ribbon and making a little bow out of it and adding it to the center of the jute or the yarn that you just, you know, that you just wrapped the candle with. You know, if you wanted a little bit more like to accentuate the candle, you can do that. You could even use like buttons and hot glue that to the center of all the strings that you just wrapped. Again, these are just ideas just to go a little bit further when it comes to embellishing your piece, especially if you're into like shabby chic or like vintage, romantic looking decor. Those would be good ideas. So once I had all of the rims of these candles wrapped, I was gonna go ahead and leave that as is, but then I remembered I had these this pack of wooden words from Dollar Tree, and they all say the same thing. They all say love. They just all vary in color. So some are pink, some are red, some are unfinished. So I decided to go with pink since the candles are primarily red and cream color. I thought pink would be a nice contrast. And all I did was took the same yarn and just strung that through the wood piece, and then just double knotted that around what will be the center candle. So essentially when I display this, the one with the tag, the wood tag, is going to be the one that's sitting in between. And that was pretty much it. This DIY couldn't be easier, and I think the outcome is tremendous. I think it's perfect for a vignette, perfect for a dining table, or anywhere really. I love how it came out. It just goes to show you that using things like a treat bag or a gift sack, you know, has many uses. You just have to think outside the box. I hope you guys like all the projects from this video. And again, if you haven't already, I invite you to please subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of videos on my channel right now. I love Dollar Tree hauls, Dollar Tree DIYs. I do a lot of different shopping hauls. I like making seasonal decor, farmhouse decor, all the good things. So if you're interested in that type of content, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single upload. And to all my subscribers, thanks again for continuing to support my channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. And don't forget to share my videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one.